most about Jimmy? Why does she...
come on.
I mean, you know...
He's handsome as shit.
No, but I mean,
You gotta speak into the microphone.
I was waiting until it was something interesting to say. It'll be minutes. No, I never had, to tell you the truth, I never had trouble with that. And I'm talking about as the characters. I'm very, very lucky and very grateful that that Bob and I get along very well off camera, and did from the beginning. Just a similar approach to the material, a similar work ethic with the material, a similar wryness with language. So we're very fortunate to have that. But even if we didn't have that, the characters, I always saw their Venn diagram, the part that overlaps, as larger than the parts that are different. And so they're both kind of loners. They both kind of know how to be chameleons for the situation. They both wear masks when they're out and about to some extent. Literally know how to wear the right suit for the occasion. And then when they're together, there's a vulnerability that comes out. Certainly with Jimmy, it's spread evenly among many people, the vulnerability part. But you know, for me, I think Kim, there is safety in being around someone that wears their heart on their sleeve. And even though he's the con man, he's the least duplicitous person in her life. The pillar of justice and law and the people that promise all sorts of things that tend to, you know, she cares a lot about intentions. And fortunately and unfortunately, that's led her to the place where we see her in this season, where it's about grappling with living within the gray areas, because unfortunately, good and bad is not the same as legal and illegal. And that goes for her actions as well as Jimmy's.
Yeah. And then there's Patrick.
I'm still mad that she left last season, so, you know, she broke up with me last year.
Doc review.
Yeah,
Doc review.
Doc review.
I'm going to finish Jonathan's thought, which I think is thank you very much for coming out tonight, and thank you for supporting the show for the last 3 seasons. We love making it, but we love it even more than you guys like it, so thank you.
Now, but is there a lot of Howard love out there? I mean, you know...
Yeah, but I mean, Howard...
Is there?
I mean, because you do such a fantastic job about playing a guy that, in terms of, like, a cast of characters that get to be loved, Howard doesn't get to be loved very much.
But here's the thing, and
I love you, Howard.
Thank you. And Michael McKean, back me up in this. I don't think we feel that we're the bad guys in this story, right?
Who are you?
Even by satellite.
Yeah, no, it's a tough room to work in. There's no doubt about that. You know, I'll say, like, on social media and stuff, like, I always like to tweet out, you know, like, Team Hamlin or Team Wexler. And somebody finally, like, clued me in, like, last week. They're just like, dude, no one cares about fucking Team Hamlin. And I was like, oh, that wounded me more than I thought. So, you know, like I've always said, I am the titular head of a firm that is just trying to keep its shit together, and all of these people are trying to make my business hard. And so that's where Howard comes from. And I don't think he's necessarily a bad guy, right, Michael?
No.
No. Nobody interesting on TV to, you know, well, maybe on Super Friends, but usually bad guys don't work at being bad. They're going after what they think is correct, what they think is right. You're gonna get a stiff neck there, Patrick, if you keep looking at me like that.
One of the things I do like about this episode for both you and for Michael's character is that we get to see some of the vulnerability. Hamlin actually is trying to protect Chuck, actively trying to protect him from himself, and Chuck can't hear it, but we also get to see Chuck's vulnerability. Chuck has a weak spot, and we see it in a very human fashion. I think it would be easier to think